What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Another Turnover, the basketball podcast where a basketball fan with zero basketball credibility gives his opinions on what's going on in the NBA. Opinions that nobody asked for. As always, I'm your host, Mr. Chris Aaron Murphy, aka Aaron. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It's been a minute. I know. Everyone missed me. All 5 of you missed me on the podcast. But we are back. Lots of things going on in life. Good things. But I'm excited. The NBA Finals are here. The NBA Finals start tonight, depending on when you're listening to this. May have already started game 1. But as you can see, we have a very, very, very special guest on the podcast today. First-time podcaster, expert basketball analyst, none other than Elizabeth Murphy, a.k.a. the Lizzler. Liz, thanks for being on the show. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Good? You're excited?
Yeah.
Nervous?
Yeah.
Don't be nervous. I told her, I was like, hey, first-time podcaster, first-time basketball analyst, there's no wrong answers. I mean, look at Charles Barkley and Shaq. Their takes are wrong all the time. So just go with what you feel. So we got a few questions. We're basically just going to go through a little NBA Finals preview, and then we'll go from there. So you ready? Mm-hmm. You excited?
For sure.
You excited for the hard-hitting questions?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So first question I got for you, Lizzler, is, so this is really your first time watching the NBA playoffs on a consistent basis. Mm-hmm. You've seen a lot of the games. We watched basically all the Knicks-Pacers series. We watched a good amount of the Thunder and the Timberwolves series, and then some of the earlier series in the playoffs. But what would you say, as really a first-time consistent watcher, you've enjoyed the most about this year's playoffs?
I mean, being the first time I've watched the playoff games on a consistent basis, I do really enjoy how defensive the games are. Because, I mean, as everyone can observe, the regular in-season games, you know, they're just shooting to make points. But this one, they really do up their defense. And so it's low-scoring games, but, you know, every goal counts, you know, every point.
Intense.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's more important than, you know, the points that they score in their regular season games, but it is kind of more important because it's like, this is down to the wire. So I think it's just like it gets your heart pumping, and yeah, I think it's a little bit more exciting to watch playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this playoffs has definitely been, I mean, from the first round has been very intense. I mean, that Pacers and Bucks series in the first round was pretty intense. Looking at the playoff tree here, I mean, basically nearly all of the series, despite, you know, the games in terms of the series, how they went, they were all competitive. I mean, Boston and Orlando had some pretty competitive games. The Timberwolves and the Lakers had some competitive games as well. And even though those series ended up going, you know, 5 games, it was really competitive. I mean, the Nuggets, both of their series before they ended up getting eliminated by the Thunder, both went 7 games. So we love to see Game 7 in the playoffs especially. But that's awesome. Awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed the defense, because a lot of people complain that the regular season doesn't have any. So it's a nice change of pace, yes, right, from the regular season games we watch. But like we talked about with this year's finals matchup, so we've got 2 young teams. We've got the Indiana Pacers coming out of the Eastern Conference, and then the Oklahoma City Thunder coming out of the West. So in your opinion, Lizzler, if you were going to start an NBA team, would you rather have the Indiana Pacers speed and offense, or would you rather have the Thunder's defense and their rising stars, in your opinion?
I mean, I feel like both, in my opinion, are good to have. I think defense, I mean, is kind of a smart way to go, but speed and offense is just exciting to watch. I mean, yeah, with that, you can make a lot of mistakes, especially if the other team has really good defense, but it's really fun to watch. You know, Halliburton just run across the court and then make a goal. So,
yeah, absolutely.
I guess, you know, to be more exciting, speed and offense.
Yeah, it sounds like you're speed and offense.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely. I mean, I agree. You know, the speed and offense, or the run and gun, as what it's often called in the NBA, is really fun to watch. I personally love that style of basketball. Fast breaks always usually end up leading to an exciting three-pointer or an exciting dunk. So I would probably lean more towards the speed and offense, but there's the old saying that defense wins championships. So
Yeah.
I completely understand both sides. There's really not a wrong answer there. But okay, next question. So we've got the two main stars for the two teams. So for the Thunder, it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's obviously the MVP, averaging in this playoffs. I have his stats pulled up here. He's averaging 30 points, 7 assists, and nearly 6 rebounds a game. Then you got Tyrese Halliburton, who is playing very well, also averaging nearly 19 points, nearly 10 assists per game, and nearly 6 rebounds as well in the 16 games that he's played in these playoffs so far. So what's your gut feeling? Who do you think is going to have a better series in this finals?
Man, that's a hard one because I mean they're both relatively young, but I guess just in my gut, since Halliburton was voted the most overrated player, I feel like he's gonna rise to the occasion just like he did in the playoffs and just show everyone what he's capable of. But that's not undermining what Alexander's capable of. But
Yeah, of course.
I don't know. Halliburton has more of that star personality, in my opinion. He's, I don't know, a little bit more charismatic. So I could just see him getting highlighted. So.
Fair enough. I mean, I guess he's got the Riz, as the children say, right? Tyrese
Is that
Halliburton.
what it's called?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you said charisma, so he's got the Riz. But I mean, I definitely get where you're coming from. Tyrese Halliburton. Really, since that poll came out, what she's referring to, if you're not familiar, there was a poll done by NBA players anonymously that came out, and they all voted Tyrese Halliburton as the most overrated player in the NBA, which I was pretty shocked by that because he was on the Olympic team last summer. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year before ended up obviously losing to the Boston Celtics. So he's a really good player. I'm shocked that he was voted the most overrated, and I really feel like it's lit a fire under him pretty much in every round of this year's playoffs. So, I mean, that being said, if I had to choose who I think is going to have the better series, just based off the collective as a whole, I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's team will allow him to operate better than Tyrese Halliburton. Just, their defense is incredible. I mean, I was looking at the statistics here before the game. In these playoffs, the Thunder, that is, they are, first in steals, fifth in blocks, fourth in rebounds. So every defensive stat that you'd want. Offensive rebounds, they're seventh. Defensive rebounds, they're sixth. Second in creating turnovers. So, this Thunder defense is crazy, which I think will, in turn allow Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to be the best version of himself, therefore having ultimately a better series. But
yeah,
that's just my opinion.
What do you call it? Good team chemistry?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And both teams
OKC.
have really good chemistry.
Yeah, but I feel like OKC, for how young they are, they've kind of formed that chemistry quite quickly. So
yeah,
I value or respect your opinion.
You feel what I'm putting down? Okay. All right. Well, a few more questions. So imagine, Lizzler, you're coaching one of these teams right before the NBA Finals. Majority of these players have never played in the NBA Finals before. A few, one or two have. I know Alex Caruso has before. But what is one piece of advice you would give to your players to get them pumped before Game 1?
I don't know if it'd get them pumped, but I would say to pace yourselves. Just like the basics. but really, yes, speed and, making goals is important, but pacing yourselves. We've seen the amount of injuries this season, which I don't know. Is that normal in a playoff season to have that many injuries?
Usually most players are playing with some form of injury at this point in the season, or usually playing hurt is what it's more likely called.
Since it's the first time I've watched the playoffs consistently, it just sucks. One injury can, take out your the rest of your season, or even longer than that. So, yeah. But I'd also say don't be cocky. You don't know the conditioning that the other team has, gone through. And even though you may have had an awesome, playoff season, you gotta, you have to play like it's your last game. You can't just, we're a little bit better than this team, so, it shouldn't be a problem beating them. But I think both teams will do well though. So
Okay. All right.
Still.
A few pieces of advice. I just want both teams to have fun. So that would be my piece of advice. Go out there and have fun.
Yeah.
All right, last final question, the big question, obviously. So the finals starting tonight. What is your gut telling you? Who do you think is going to win the NBA Finals? The Indiana Pacers or the Thunder? And how many games do you think the series is going to go?
This might be controversial, but because I feel like I know a lot of people's answers, but I say Pacers in Game 7.
Pacers in 7 on the road. That is a bold take.
I know it's bold. I mean, we'll see if it happens, but I don't know. I feel like I've kind of followed the Pacers a little bit closer this season than OKC, So
She knows ball.
we'll see. Sure.
I'm going the complete opposite direction. I have Oklahoma City winning this series in 5. I definitely think this defense is going to create problems for the Indiana Pacers, especially because, with Tyrese Halliburton being their engine, despite him not being the top scorer on the team, that obviously goes to Pascal Siakam. I think if they're able to slow down Tyrese Halliburton in a way where he cannot get out on the fast break like he wants to, because he's a facilitator first at his heart. If they're able to slow him down, I think you pretty much slow down the rest of that team, obviously with him being the facilitator. So I'm going with Oklahoma City in 5. I just definitely think their defense is going to be too much. They have too many defenders that they can throw at their best players. And I think it's their time. I think it's their time to get their first ever championship in franchise history. But
Yeah.
I've been wrong once or twice before.
Neither team has won a championship, right? The finals.
The Pacers won an ABA championship, but nobody cares about that because that was a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
It was many years ago.
Well, it'd be.
They've
good
never won
for-
an NBA championship.
I was about to say it would be good for either team. So I want the Pacers to win, but
Well, one of us is going to be right. Whether it's the Indiana Pacers or whether it's the Oklahoma City Thunder, one of us is going to be right because only one of them can win, right? So,
Yeah.
But I just want them to have fun. Like I said, just go out there and have fun. But anyway, that is our show, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Lizzler, thank you for being on the show. You're all right at this podcasting stuff.
Yeah.
Should be back on.
my expert analysis.
Yeah, that was pretty good. So if you can do all the good things, like, share, subscribe, leave comments, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And enjoy the show. We got the finals, like I said, start tonight, 8:30 Eastern time, if I'm not mistaken. I'm very much looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. But take care, stay safe, and have a great summer. Peace.